Hi everyone, one of the other fun things we can do with our tape dispenser is animate the motion through our joints. So we're actually going to come into our joints and we have some options that we didn't have for our last project. This time we can use our as-built joints, since a lot of these shapes are all created exactly where they need to be. So if we can do our as-built joints, we can have our blade in our top dispenser component as a rigid. If we animate it, it'll show that it's stuck, and we can hit OK. We can also do the same for our tape and our tape roll. So we do our as-built joint, we choose our tape roll and our tape, and it's rigid, so those two are stuck. Okay. We can also do it's kind of like a slider or a cylindrical probably for our pin here. So as built, we have our pin and we have our, actually I guess we would do it for here. We have a couple options here, which is okay. So let's do that, and then we would do a cylindrical or snap. For our origin, we're going to want to do the center, it'll let us, probably of the inside. We're going to see if it'll do that. There we go. If you do the outer edge, it may be at an angle, which may have some trouble. All right, so we have this, I can slide. We can put some limits on it in a moment, but that's okay. All right, and then we have at least one more. Our as-built joint for these two would be a slider, and our snap can be here. Okay, so far we have rigid and a slider. These are rigid, a cylindrical. So we can drag this up and down. Our tape is not moving with it at the moment, which we can fix in a second. We have cylinder coming across here. All right, if you haven't done limits before, we can come into our joints folder in the browser, and here are all of the joints we've made so far. If you click on it, there's a joints limit here, and we can change how far or maybe how far it turns. It truly depends on what you want. So right now I'm going to edit the sliding limits. All right, and we need to have most likely this will be a minimum, I believe. So if our minimum would be, I guess actually our max, let's check. All right, so we just need a minimum, and it should be able to move only in that direction. Okay, let's take a look for our slider here too. We want to check, most likely going to be our minimum. And it's going up, and it stops right where it needs to. We can hit OK. All right, the only thing we can do is we can add a revolute, probably, or actually we can do a cylindrical as well. As built from our tape roll to our pin, with our center snap still being the tube. Oops, it does not like that. There it goes. All right. So at this point we have our blade is attached, our tape roll and tape are attached. We have a cylindrical joint for our pin and tape dispenser top. We have a cylindrical joint for our pin and our tape roll, and then we have a slider for the cap here. So if I zoom out a little bit, I can grab some of these. Okay, grab this and drag it up. If I try and drag the blade, it doesn't go anywhere. If I drag this, they don't quite have interference detection here, but we can drag these shapes across. They can also spin, but yeah, here we are. Those are all of our shapes. One of the things that we'll do a little later is we'll do an actual animation for it, but these are at the moment the motions that we would want to do.